We just got a brand new map for Black Ops 6 Zombies, which means a new main quest, Easter egg, new boss fight, and so much more. This is your solo guide. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Citadelle de More. All right, welcome into this gorgeous map. Now, I'm going to break down this entire process for you into 4 very simple categories. I'm going to break it down into the quest items, the sword upgrades, because you got to get all 4 of the swords, and you need to upgrade all 4 of those, activating the 4 knights, and activating the boss fight. We're going to break these down into each of these 4 segments, and I'm going to make this nice, simple, and easy for you, something that you can definitely hop in and do solo. If you just follow the things that I'm doing here, it might take you a try or two, but we can definitely get you there. And let's get you right into all of this after a quick word from this video's paid sponsor. Messy Modding is a safe and legitimate gaming service company that supplies services to not just Call of Duty, but for over a dozen other games. If you're looking for help with the Dark Matter or Nebula grind, bot lobbies, and more, go to check out Messy Modding using the link in the description down below and let them do all of the hard work for you. Use my code COOL to save 5%. Back to the video. Okay, we're going to be using one of my favorite weapons here, the GPR-91. It's an assault rifle that does absolutely insane damage against armored zombies, and I'm hoping that that's going to be pretty helpful once we get into the boss fight, because he is pretty armored up. This is going to be officially my 3rd try at this. I died once last night on stream. I crashed once today. Actually, I crashed twice today, but the second time I was able to recover it. And this is going to be my 3rd time into the boss fight, but my 2nd actual attempt at it. So hopefully we are successful this time around. I'm also going to go ahead and throw up the gobble gums, the rest of the loadout that we're using here. The ether shroud, of course, is going to be our field upgrade, and I will throw up all of the augments on screen for all of the different field upgrades and perks and everything that we're going to be using here in this match. If you want to copy my augments, feel free. Otherwise, you can run whatever augments that you want. But the first step here is just going to be getting the map opened up. This is very simple. You just follow the prompts on the screen here. I usually spend the first 4 to 5 rounds down in the spawn area, because you're not going to have enough essence to open up all of the doors all the way there anyway. So you might as well just spend it down into the spawn and then work your way up. Once you get to, say, around round 5, usually you have enough essence to go ahead and open up the entire map from there. And we're going to go all the way to the pack-a-punch machine, where you're going to shoot the 3 locks on it, open up the pack-a-punch, open up the pack-a-punch, and kill the doppelgas that spawns inside, which drops the crystal. Pick up the crystal, put it into the rift, and then you are good to go from there. The next step is you're going to head on back to the room with the quick revive. Go right behind the quick revive machine here, and there is a wooden door. Go ahead and interact with that, and some voice audio is going to play from craft here. If you want to sit and listen to it, feel free to sit and listen to it. You do not have to. Once you do the step, everything is activated and ready to go from there. So from the rest of the rounds here up until round 10, we are going to be focused on getting the 4 main quest items. Okay, so we are going to multitask while we're doing this, but the first item we're going to get is the horseshoe, but right next to the dead shot here is this lightning rod. Go ahead and pick that up, head on inside the barn, and shoot that horseshoe that's hanging above the door. When it drops, go ahead and pick it up. You're then going to head on back to the top of the castle here to the lion cannon. It's the same cannon that you use to open the main doors to the map here, but instead of opening the main door, we're just going to climb in the front of it. Now, I do believe this costs 500 essence for you to do so, but this is going to launch you back to spawn, and this is going to start the upgrade process for this horseshoe. You're going to go ahead and look to the right or to the left. You're going to see a storm cloud here. It's either going to go toward the right toward Speed Killer or toward the left toward Deadshot Daiquiri, and in that storm is going to drop a golden horseshoe. Bring it back to the spawn area, and right inside the gate there, you're going to see a little yellow symbol appear on the ground. Go ahead and place your horseshoe down in there, and this is simply just a soul box. You're going to kill as many zombies as you can here, as many zombies as it takes to fill up this soul box. And once you complete this step, your horseshoe is going to disappear in a golden box. A golden little chest is going to spawn out of that. We are going to need that. That is important for later on in the match. Now, continuing with our multitasking here, we're now going to head on back up toward the top here, toward the arsenal machine here, and we're going to go ahead and throw dead wire on our weapon. This is important for upgrading the electric swords. We already picked up 1 of the 3 lightning rods that we need. The second of the 3 lightning rods that you're going to need is right down here past Speed Cola. There's an electrical box here that you're going to go ahead and shoot with your dead wire weapon, and that's going to drop your second of 3 of the lightning rods that we are going to need for the lightning sword. Now, the next item we're going to collect is right above the vulture's age. You're going to see this little crystal with a reflector light beam, and this is going to fire another light beam. And once you see the next faint light beam, just kind of shoot it at the same angle that the faint light beam is pointing back at that, and we're just kind of redirecting this until it is pointing where it needs to point. So just keep following these steps, keep following this beam, keep shooting it. The best bet is to just, like I said, line it up and shoot it at the angle that the faint beam is coming from, and eventually it's going to end right over here, and it is going to spawn you in a brooch. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to wait, and we're going to collect that brooch. Takes just a couple of seconds to come in, and we're going to head back to the room with the 4 knights, where there's going to be another one of those little golden circles that are going to spawn on the ground. We're going to place our brooch in there, and again, another soul box. We're going to go ahead and kill zombies until our golden chest appears. Now, one thing that I do want to say is be very careful not to be turning too many rounds here. Unless you want to be doing all of these steps and all of these boss fights and everything on round 30, round 40, you want to do as many of these things early in the match as possible and try to not flip very many rounds here. You're going to try to get all 4 of these items. You can get these done before round 10, and you cannot even start doing the swords until round 10. Now, for the next item, you're going to want to make sure you craft yourself 3 Molotov cocktails. Now, I typically spawn into the match with Molotovs and then pick up 1 or 2 extra. We're going to come right out here, and right on top of the main gate here, if you aim right where I was just aiming and throw your Molotov, you're going to be able to set that debris on fire. There's another one right above over here, and then there is one third and final one that we need to set on fire over on the left hand side up on top of the bridge here, and you're just going to aim it right there and throw it right at that debris pile. Once all 3 of these debris piles are on fire, then go ahead, start killing some of these zombies. A bunch of them are going to spawn in, and it's also going to spawn in a boss doppelgast as well, and that you are going to have to take out because that is going to drop the item that we need here. And once you finish him off, just go ahead and wait for him to explode, and he's going to drop you the Raz Ankh, which we need for the next step to just drop right down over here, and another yellow box is going to appear. Place your Ankh in there, and again, another soul box. Go ahead and kill zombies until that soul box is full and your golden chest appears. Okay, and then once you were finished with that, we have 1 more item to collect and 1 more golden chest to unlock. All right, so for this one, we're going to head on down into the Pack-a-Punch room here, and we're going to use the fast travel that is right behind it. And toward the end of this little sliding animation, you're going to see a raven sitting right here. Go ahead and scare it off of the rock. Now, rumor has it you can throw a frag grenade in from this other end and actually disturb it out of there that way. That might be possible, but once you see it fly away, go ahead and shoot it, and it's going to drop you the Raven's Claw. So go ahead and pick that up, and then we got to go find its soul box and place it down in and get it upgraded and get our gold chest. So to find that final soul box, go down back to the Pack-a-Punch room, and on the other side here, there's another door that you're going to need to open. It's going to open this larger room. Now, this is a very important room for the entire Easter egg. There are other steps that need completed in here, but the soul box is right on the other side. Go to drop your Raven's Claw in, and again, fill up your entire soul box. Now, while you're doing this step, assuming you still have the dead wire on your weapon, which you should because you still need it here, while you are killing zombies down here, one of these lightning rods should fall from one of the zombies. I find the most success doing it down in these cellar rooms in the basement. I don't know if that's 100% of requirement, but that seems to be the only place and the only consistent place that I get it, but you have to have the dead wire on the weapon, so that will be your 3rd and final lightning rod, and we're going to need that for the swords. Now that we have all 4 of the golden chests out of the way, which are the incarnations for the swords, we can go ahead and turn our focus to the swords. Okay, some important things that you need to know about the knights. So the room with the 4 knights is located in the same room as the new perk of Vulture's Aid. So you have 4 different knights here. Let me get rid of this zombie here. So you have 4 different knights here. You have the deer head, which is your electric sword. On the opposite side of that, you have the dragon, which is the fire sword. Next to that, you have the lion, which is the light sword. And then finally over here, you have the raven, which is the dark sword. All those golden chests that we've been opening throughout this match so far are all the unlocks for the incarnations for each of the 4 various swords, and each incarnation will take over the tactical slot in your loadout and will each offer their own different ability. So starting on round 10, you're going to get these special zombies here with these knight helmets on. These zombies in particular are the ones that you are going to need to kill. Once you kill one of these special zombies, it's going to drop you one of these golden stamps. You're going to need 4 of these golden stamps in total, so I'm going to go ahead and unlock this particular sword. Just interact and it will give you a bastard sword. If you kill another one of these zombies, it will then drop you another stamp. You can only hold 1 stamp at a time, but as soon as you get a second stamp, go ahead and unlock another knight. Once you get all 4 of these knights, you should be looking for these stamps as the match goes on here and unlocking knights as you go along, so you don't have to constantly be turning rounds in order to find another stamp. As you turn rounds naturally and you unlock some of these stamps. So phase 2 of this Easter egg, you can do these swords in any order that you choose. The first one that I'm going to do here is the electric sword. So go ahead and make sure you equip it. This is the one that comes from the knight with the deer head on it. Once you have that electric sword equipped, we're going to head on over here on the bridge here next to Elemental Pop. There's going to be this base. We're going to interact with it and place all 3 of those lightning rods that we already collected throughout this match. And with your sword in hand, you're going to stay within this kind of storm that forms around here. I would recommend that you do this at the end of a round. Save 1 or 2 of your round zombies, as there will be zombies that spawn here. Killing zombies is not a necessity in this step. You can get through this step without killing any zombies whatsoever, but if you save 1 or 2 of your round zombies, and you see we got struck by lightning and we got the lightning effect on our sword, once you do that, you are then going to go melee that vase, and we're going to repeat this 3 different times. We need to melee that vase 3 times after getting struck by lightning, and we have that lightning effect on our sword. But it gets really dicey up here if you're doing this in the middle of a round, so I would highly suggest that you do not do this in the middle of a round, but go ahead and do this. Hang around this storm until you are struck by lightning 3 different times. And then once the storm dies away, you're going to go ahead and place your sword into the vase. Wait just a few seconds and it's going to power it up, and you're going to be able to remove it. Once it turns gold, go ahead, grab it out of there, and you now have your electric sword. Before we go place this back on the knight though, however, we have one additional step, and that is to unlock the incarnation for the electric sword. So the electric sword incarnation is the one that is down in the spawn room. This is the one that we did earlier in the match when we did those little gold circles and that golden chest appeared on the match. We're going to head on down to that golden chest, and we're going to go ahead and we are going to melee it, and that is going to open up the electric incarnations, and that will open up the spawns for all the electric incarnations all over the entire map. You do not have to pick it up. You are welcome to pick up that incarnation if you like, but you do not have to pick that up at this stage. At this point, we're going to head on back to the spawn room. We're going to place our electric sword back into its electric knight, and we're going to go ahead and grab the next sword, which we are going to do the fire sword. Now, the fire sword is one of my favorite ones and one of the easiest ones to do, but go ahead and grab the fire sword off of the dragon knight. We're going to head on right up here at the top of these stairs, right above Jug. There is a dragon. Go ahead and place your sword down in that dragon. And now we have to go to 3 separate fire pits throughout the map. You can do these in any order whatsoever. It does not matter. I'm going to show you the location to all 3 of these. So as you run on back down the hill, down here towards spawn, there is one right here to the right hand side. So that is fire pit number 1 right there. And then there is one right here in the spawn area. This is the furthest point away. So go ahead and interact with that, and you're going to catch on fire and you're going to get lightning speed. Now this will take away some damage on your way back up to the dragon. If you melee zombies on your way back up, it will refill your health. And when you're doing this furthest one away here, you definitely 100% need to melee some zombies on your way up here, otherwise you are going to die. Go ahead and place down that fire and head on back. We have to do the other 2 locations, so we're going to head back down to the bottom of the hill here. We will grab the fire from this fire pit at the bottom, go ahead and interact with it. We're going to go ahead and catch on fire again, and this time I'm going to go up the right hand side on my way back up. Sometimes I feel like this way is just a little bit faster. Plus I had a horde of zombies chasing me down the left hand side. We'll go ahead and take the right hand path. Whether you go left, right, it doesn't matter. Melee a couple of zombies on your way back up to the top to make sure that you don't die, and place that fire down. The last one is actually super close. It is right up here on the bridge to the left hand side, right past the melee macchiato here. You make a right, come through this room, and that fire pit's going to be right up here on top of the bridge. Go ahead and interact with it. This one is close enough that you do not have to kill any zombies. I'm going to grab melee macchiato on the way through here because that is important for a step here in the very near future. But once you go ahead and place that fire down here, just wait a couple of seconds, just like we did with the electric sword, and we will get our fire sword upgraded. It is now the Caliburn, and we'll go ahead and we are going to unlock the incarnation for it. And this is the gold box that is just right outside here out front. So go ahead and melee that, unlock that, and we're going to go ahead and go place that fire sword back onto the knight. We do this that way we can keep track of where our swords are, because you are going to need all of these swords later on here in the match. Okay, 3rd sword out of 4, we're going to go ahead and do the lion sword. So once you pick this up, you're going to notice that there are 4 special glowing yellow parasites that are going to spawn in. Once you see these, you're going to go and melee one of them. Don't melee all of them at once. Once you melee one of them, your sword is going to start to glow yellow. And with your glowing sword, we're going to head on down to where the Speed Cola perk machine is, and right off to the side of it, right next to that electrical box, is going to be this door with a lion head statue. Go ahead and melee that. That'll take your glow off, kill another glowing parasite. That'll make your sword glow again, and then go ahead and melee that door again. We're going to do this a total of 4 times. Each time a different symbol is going to go in and pop up. In the event that you accidentally kill one of your glowing parasites, you will have to flip the round in order to get more glowing parasites to spawn in. Once you get all 4 of those, go ahead and interact with the door, melee it, and you're going to go ahead and come into this little hallway where you're going to place your sword down in this pedestal. At the bottom is going to be a glowing symbol of some sort. You're going to shoot the corresponding glowing symbol. It's always the same, so it's always the same in this order. So it is the circle with the dot in the middle, then the snowflake, then the triangle thing, and then the circle with the line in the middle. You shoot all 4 of those. Simple, easy peasy. That's going to upgrade this sword. Go ahead and interact with it, and that will kick you right on back out of this room. And then, of course, we need to activate the incarnation for it. So head on back to the room with the knights, and that golden box that we have in this room, that is the one associated with this sword. So go ahead and melee that, and then place your sword back on the lion. And we have one final sword to go, and this one is the Raven Sword. So for the Raven Sword, in this room right offside of the night room here where the arsenal machine is, there is going to be this like alchemy type room in here with a whole bunch of shelves and desks and everything in here. And in here somewhere is going to be a set of bones on a statue. Or like a trophy, more or less. I think a trophy is the right word here. But you're going to search all of the shelves and everything until you find a specific trophy. It's going to be in a little bit of a different location in each and every single game, and it's going to be a different trophy each and every game. Just keep checking all of the different shelves and the desk and everything. It's going to be in this room somewhere. In my particular game here, it's going to be right here on the bookcase, and you can see the little trophy there. Go ahead and interact with that and pick that up, and we're going to need that for the next step. And then once you have your Raven Sword and your trophy that you found from that biolab chemist room, alchemy room, whatever you want to call it, go ahead and head on down here to the pub, and we're going to go down to the basement of the pub and go ahead and interact with this spinny glowing disc and place in your trophy. Now you're going to need to solve this puzzle based on the artifact that you have. You'll change the inner and outer rings to line up and get the correct code. I'll go ahead and throw up on screen right now all of the known codes that you could possibly get based on the different artifacts that are available that have been found in game so far. Once you go ahead and do that, then you're going to get this like little black hole thing that's going to spawn here, and then these glowing orbs are going to start coming out of where you placed your artifact. You need to guide these orbs. These orbs are going to follow you around the map. They will follow you wherever you go. You need to guide, and if you see, they damage you very, very heavily, but you need to guide those into these black holes, and you need to get 3 of these orbs into that black hole. So go ahead and just keep manipulating them around until you get 3 of them to fall down into that hole. Once you get 3 of them, this hole is going to move, and it's going to go up to the very next floor where you're going to have to repeat it and do that 3 more times. And then again, it'll go up to the 3rd floor where the pool table is. And again, go ahead and do it 3 more times and get 3 more balls in it. This is one of those steps where you definitely do not want to be doing this in the middle of a round. So make sure you're just saving a zombie and doing this at the end of a round. And once all 9 balls are safely packed deep into your hole, you can go ahead and come on back down and interact with this again, and it's going to drop your sword into another hole, and after a few seconds it will spit it back up, and you go ahead and pick this up, and we will go activate the incarnation for our Raven Sword. But before we leave the pub, we have one more step we need to do here. There's going to be 6 of these bottles located around the pub here in various places. I'll show you all 6 locations. They are the same every match, and I highly recommend that you have a pen and a piece of paper ready to write all of these down. Each of them will have a Roman numeral on them, anywhere from 1 through 6, and you're going to need these in order, so make sure you write them down in the exact order that they are labeled on the bottle. So this one being number 3 rather, is just a plain circle. We go over here and we find this one right over here, and of course we get a circle within a circle and then 4 lines, but just mark them all down, write them down, draw these diagrams out. This is going to make sense here in just a moment. And here are each of the other locations. They are all within this room, top and bottom level. There is none in the basement. Okay, so once you have all of those wrote down, you're going to head back on into this room that is right outside of the Pack-a-Punch room down in the basement cellar. Go ahead and melee that box right there, and that's going to be your Dark Incarnation. The next step is going to use your Melee Macchiato and melee that spot in the wall right there, which is going to reveal all of these symbols, and those are all the symbols that you just wrote down when you were back in the pub. Now, I did this using the brand new timeout gobble gum, which you don't have to do, but man, it makes it a whole lot easier. Even when you have just one single zombie, makes it a lot easier. But these are going to jumble up. You got to find the symbol that you had do this in the exact same order based on the number of the bottle that you got them from in the previous room. And each one is going to go faster and faster, so you're going to have less time to sit and look at the symbol and try to find it. In my old eyes, look at that. I mean, there, I missed it. But if you shoot one wrong, well, you're going to have to start all over again. You'll have to shoot 6 of them and start the entire process again. But once you get all 6 of these here, then this little red orb's going to spawn out, and we need to then go do the next step. So we're going to go right up above here, and in this lounge area, we're going to search around here. There are going to be 4 pieces of paper with little red glowing symbols on them. They could be right in the hallway right outside there. There's the first one there, or they can be right inside that room. They won't be anywhere else other than immediately right in this area, but there's going to be 4 different pieces of these papers, and they stick out pretty easily. Just keep looking around here and eventually going to find them. I've never really had any issue locating any of these. And there we go, the last one down there. And we're going to head on back out to where we were just at, because this little book spawned into the wall right next to where we just put all those symbols. And we're going to go ahead and place these pages to this book right there. And that's going to give us 4 more symbols. Now, these correspond to various traps around the map, so maybe go ahead and take a picture with your phone or something so you have some reference to this and you don't have to keep coming back to this book every time. But it's got to go in exact order again. From top left is number 1, bottom left is number 2, top right is number 3, bottom right is number 4. So you have to do these in exactly the same order. Something to pay special attention to: some of the eyeballs have eyelashes, some of them do not have eyelashes, some of the symbols have 4 points, some have 8 points, and some of them have an extra red circle around the outside. So make sure you are finding the proper one. And all those little red symbols that you've been seeing on the ground throughout the whole map, those are the traps then that we are going to go need to find for this next step. Now, this step is expensive because it costs 1,600 essence every single time, but you got to visit all 4 of these traps in exactly the same order that I told you that you needed to be completed in. Activate the traps, kill zombies within the trap, move on to the next one. Now, if you're unsure if you're getting the right ones, you can always go back and check the book. If you got it right, the symbol will disappear out of the book, but make sure that you're doing them all in the proper order and visiting all 4 of these. And also make sure you have enough zombies to kill. It takes around 10 to 15 zombies in order for you to get credit for these traps, so make sure that you have the zombies available to kill. Don't turn one of these traps on when you only have 1 or 2 zombies left, because then you're going to run out of the round and then your trap is going to expire before you even get it done. So yeah, do all 4 of those. And once you complete the last one here, and I'm right outside the room. This is the room where we found all of the pages to the book. If you start going back down this hallway, you will see that you are going to get another symbol on the wall right there at the bottom of the staircase. It's going to be there when we get back there. And there is our next step. So go ahead and take another picture of this. Top is the first one, right is the second, bottom is the third, and left is the 4th one. These are each of the individual elemental swords, and these must be completed in this exact order. This is how we have to activate the knights in order for us to progress to the next step of the Easter egg. Okay, so the very first one for us is the electric. So we're going to go ahead and grab the electric sword from the deer head. And around this room is all 4 of the different incarnations. So go ahead and grab the electric incarnation, head on over, and it's going to be your tactical button. So go ahead and hit that on the knight, and then immediately inspect your sword. Once you get through the inspect animation, go ahead and place it back down. The knight will salute you, and that one is done. Then move on to your second sword. For us, it is dark sword. So go ahead and grab the dark incarnation, head on over. Use the incarnation on the knight, inspect your weapon, and then go ahead and place it back on the knight. You're not going to want to do this in the middle of a round. I had to stop and kill zombies there for a couple of moments, but the knight will salute you, and you're going to move on until you do all 4 of these and all 4 knights are activated. Now, once you get all 4 of them activated, a animation is going to spawn here, and this orb is going to fall from the sky from all 4 of the knights. You're going to go ahead, walk on over to this, and grab this orb. This is probably the most fun part of the Easter egg. Can be the most challenging at times, depending on the situation, especially if you've gotten yourself up into really high rounds by this point. These next stages could be pretty difficult, but I always start right here. So in the room where you're at there, opposite of the vulture aid, is one of the very first places that you can place this orb into. So going to place it onto that wall anchor, and then you'll need to activate it. I'm going to go ahead and clear out some zombies here first before I do, and then once you're ready, go ahead and interact with it again, and that will then go ahead and start the ritual. ritual. So we're going to do one of these for each of the 4 swords. And for this one in particular, you do not need to use the sword. So it's going to spawn in these giant green balls, and all you have to do is stand inside of these green balls. The longer that you're standing inside of the big green balls, more little balls will spawn out, and those will enter your soul box. So just think of these as giant soul boxes, but they got to be killed using the element in which that your sword is. This one being the light sword here, you got to do it with these giant, I think they're like green healing balls pretty much, but you can go ahead and you can kill zombies while you're in there, but you need to move as fast as you can from 1 to 1, and don't stay for very long. If you got to get out of there, get out of there, but the longer you're in the green balls, the more little balls that'll head on into your soul box. Now this one is probably the most difficult of all of them, but once you have reached enough souls to satisfy it, you're going to head on back up to the orb over here, and of course we're going to have to fight our way there. There are a lot of zombie spawns in doing these rituals here. So fight your way on back to the orb, and then go ahead and grab it from the wall, and we're going to move on to the next one, which we are going to do the fire one next. So go ahead and grab your fire sword. And again, these ones can be done in any order whatsoever, but you're definitely going to want your fire incarnations with this one, because it is going to require you to get kills with fire. So we're going to head on back down here toward the arsenal machine, right past Jug here, and along the wall on the right hand side over here, along this small wall, is going to be your next little place. Go ahead and place your orb in, go ahead and activate it till it's glowing red with fire, and then your goal here is to get fire kills. Kills with the fire sword itself is not going to get you the kills. However, if you use the fire incarnations, that will get you fire kills. If you use Molotovs, that will get you fire kills. I am unsure if it works with like the fire shotgun rounds. It might, and I can't speak to that in this video, but basically you're just going to keep on doing the same thing. There's some more fire incarnations right down there in that chest that we had unlocked earlier. So use those. Once you get your sword all leveled up here like you do, you can get a giant horde of zombies and use your alternate fire there, and all of those souls will count. But once you get enough souls to satisfy the fire, go ahead and pick that ball up again, and we're going to move on to the next one. And next up for us is the Raven Sword, which is the dark incarnation. So go ahead and grab a couple dark incarnations and head on back down here, and right next to where your golden treasure box is spawned there on the back wall, go ahead and insert your orb. And your goal here is to get kills using either Dark Flare, your Dark Incarnation, or the special Ether Tear that comes with the Dark Sword. And let me just say right now, the Dark Sword is absolutely 100% my favorite of all of the swords. I absolutely love this sword. I love doing this Ether Tear right here. It's just, oh, it is incredibly satisfying to use. Incredibly satisfying. But once you get enough souls with this one, then of course, go ahead, grab your orb again. And we're going to move on to our final one here, the Lightning Sword. Go and grab your Lightning Sword. Head on down to where your lightning incarnation box is, place your orb into its holder, and start getting kills with electricity. Again, you can get these with the incarnations, you can get these with dead wire, and you can get them with the special ability of your lightning sword. But again, just like everything else, it's just a soul box. Go ahead and fill it up until you have enough souls, enough enemies killed by lightning. Go ahead and grab your orb off the wall, and it's time for us to go unlock the Guardian Key, which will unlock the boss fight for Citadelle des Morts. And then we're going to head right back on over to this room where you saw all the symbols on the wall there, and we're going to place our orb right in the middle of those, and that is going to deactivate each one of those symbols, and a room is going to open up here. And inside of it, on the other end, is going to be the Guardian Key. And this is what we are going to use to unlock the boss fight here. So go ahead and interact with this on the table. And once this spawns in, go ahead and pick up your Guardian Key. And that is it. From this point forward, you are ready for the boss fight. So I'm going to, you spend the next 5-10 rounds, whatever it's going to take here, to make sure that I am boss fight ready. Make sure you are legendary, pack a punch 3. Make sure you have a self revive. Make sure you have a score streak. I have a mutant injection. I don't even know how well that's going to work inside of this boss fight, but I'm going to take one with me anyway, just so I have one. And just make sure you are ready to go. I would recommend maybe 2 weapons. I'm probably also going to bring in the GS45 pistols as a secondary, just to maybe help out with some zombies just a little bit. But y'all know I hate using those pistols, so I probably won't use them too much. But go ahead and spend some time here and get yourself ready. And once you feel like you are ready to get into this boss fight, you're ready to see it, go ahead and head on back down till spawn and get this giant statue right in front of you and place your guardian key. And that is it. This is your final warning. If you don't want anything spoiled for boss fights, go ahead and click off this video right now. All right, you're still here. So this animation's going to play and you're going to get teleported into the boss fight arena. And holy shit, this arena is freaking awesome. This arena is so, oh, it's so gorgeously awesome. All right, so to defeat this boss, my best thing that I can tell you is get a weapon that is good against armor plates. And if you don't know what weapons are good against armor, well, check out my video, because I have a video on what weapons are the best against armor, and maybe I'll try to link it on the screen here for you right now. But basically, this boss is incredibly tanky. He's got a lot of armor. You need to break that armor before you can start dealing critical shots to him. So yeah, there we go. We're finally dealing some criticals there. And then just make sure you hit those critical spots once you're doing it. Again, this is going to be a 3-phase boss fight. There's going to be a little bit of a rest in between. You are going to want to stay far away from the lava. Do not get in that. It will heavily damage you. Make sure you are avoiding his flame attacks. He will charge you. He will run at you. Just keep moving and just keep tanking as many shots as you possibly can into this guy. The first phase is not too bad of this fight. Even the first time I fought this boss, I made it through the first phase, so you got a lot more arena to play with. But once you get to the second phase, which we're about to get to now, so you're going to have this brief little intermission. The lava is going to encroach in on you a little bit, and your arena is going to get smaller. So you're going to have even less of an area to maneuver around in. You'll have a little bit of audio play. There's going to be some zombie spawns. You're going to have to go ahead and take them out. And again, for the second phase, it's going to be more of the same. He's just a tanky boss, but now you got a lot less area that you can run in. You can see the lava is encroaching a whole lot more, but just keep putting as many shots as you possibly can. Just keep focusing on him. Fire away. I believe that's a Marilyn Manson song with those lyrics. And watch the ether shroud there, because you might shroud yourself right out into the lava, and that lava does heavy damage, so be very careful with that. But ether shroud does work very well in this boss fight, as does idle eyes as well. I never got a chance to spawn in my insta kill, but you know, if you get an opportunity, great. Make sure you use your gobble gums if you get a chance. But he does not give you a lot of downtime at all. I mean, he is constantly spitting fireballs at you. He's constantly kicking you and melee attacking and doing all sorts of things, and you can run out around here at times here as well, so keep that in mind. Also, just stay away from the lava. It will eventually go away, but just keep looking where you're watching. I think my mistake the first time that I fought this is I kept running in circles, and I would run through the fire without realizing it, because I was constantly just looking at the boss and trying to tank shots into him and not really paying attention to where I'm going. So I would say that was mistake number one that I made when I first fought this boss. But otherwise, it really isn't terrible. You just keep on going and you just keep on shooting just like this. But we're just doing some ripping and tearing, and I shit you not, this actually happened. This actually freaking happened. Halfway through this boss fight, and I freaking crashed. Like, you've got to be kidding me. Call of Duty. If anybody else out there has been having some crashing issues since Season 1 Reloaded, let me know about it down in the comments. And also just comment crash down below to let me know that you're still here. But guess what? I go back in and we do this again. At least it spawned me back in on round 29. Everything was already done, so I was able to just finish upgrading my pistols again, which I did at the round 29 there before, whatever. But let's go in round number 2. All right, I believe we were somewhere right around this point whenever we crashed the last time. So we're back in it, and I've just kind of fast forwarded here, and I skipped through that first phase. You already watched me beat it. Obviously, I was able to beat it again. But just, yeah, keep on moving. Use all of these different incarnations that are around there. Every single one of the incarnations do spawn in this boss fight, and they do respawn after a little bit of time. So gotta make sure that you're using them. But just be very cautious. There is very little armor plates the more you get into this boss fight. And if you touch the lava, you're getting yourself in literally hot water right there, because it feels like it takes even longer for you to heal once you touch lava. That could be completely wrong, but I just kind of have that feeling while I'm playing that I'm just not healing very quickly once I'm hitting the lava. As you can see, it's very hard to even keep any health right now, let alone even turn around and do any damage to him whatsoever. It does look like the healing rates are good as I'm watching it back here, but yeah, just keep moving. That's the best advice that I could possibly give you, is just keep moving and keep doing damage every chance that you get. Make sure that you are doing as much damage as you possibly can. Oh no, there goes my dying wish. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're so close to the end of this. All right, come on. I mean, this GPR is doing some awesome damage, but you can see just how oh, it knocked me into the lava. You can see just how small this arena is right now, and he keeps knocking me back into the lava. I can't find any plates. It's getting so dicey right here. Oh my gosh, what are we at? We're at like 33 HP. He could literally blow on us and we'd be dead right now. I don't have quick revive anymore, so it's taken forever to heal. But yeah, there we go. We got a little bit of space between him, but this thing is doing really good damage. So definitely a very viable weapon that you could take into this boss fight with you if you want to try it, but feel free to try other weapons out as well. I've seen people beat it online with various other weapons, but trust me when I tell you this, you got this. You can do this. You can defeat this boss. It is very difficult. The Easter egg is difficult. Well, not difficult, but it's definitely time consuming. But once you finally do this, it's going to be such an amazing flow of dopamine. You're going to be like, yeah, baby. But yeah, so once you finish that, you're going to go ahead and grab the artifact. Sorry, the amulet rather, but go ahead and grab that. And that's going to spawn you into the final cutscene. I will spare you that. I won't force you to watch that in this video. But yeah, thank you all so very much for watching. My name is Cool Whip, and I'm out.